Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. This channel is not intended for kids under the age of 13. So if you're under the age of 13, please leave.
With every Mezco purchase, you do get a Mezit, and this one is in that gold wrapper with the big M on there. So we pretty much know which one this is going to be. But let's go ahead and slice it open. Got ourselves another little golden grub here with his little boombox. And really, I can't have enough of these. These are really cool, and I like them better than the normal Mezits. Now, another item that we get in the box is the Order of the Holy Divers Baron Ben's coin, but it's actually a pin, and it looks very badass, and it's metal. So it's a very cool looking coin on the back. I'm going to keep calling it coin. I mean, that's what I was hoping it was, but it makes more sense for it to be a pin. And then on the back, we do have it say Rumble Society on the back, and you got the pin there. This thing's awesome. It's really cool. I love these little creative extra accessories that they toss in with the figures, you know, just like the t-shirt idea. Here we got the t-shirt looking very, very badass. I love the image. Just looks like a comic book cover. Down to the UPC. It's great. And it even shows a weird little creature. Will we see him in the future? Will we get him as a figure? Time will tell. Now, when it comes to Mezco's own IP, like Rumble Society, Gomez, they get really into it. I mean, they get fun with this packaging. I mean, look at it. It looks pretty badass. And look at all the Gomez packages that we've been getting, lunch boxes, and all this fun way of getting your figures. And that's because they have a lot more freedom with it because it's their own property. So the box has the logos and stuff on it. Gold top. It does say Rumble Society on the side. Nothing really on the back, just a bunch of, I guess that's dust or something. Rumble Society there. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. Open it up to a nice image of Baron Benz with the Aquaticons just rising up through the ocean. It's pretty badass. Like all other Mezco figures, we get the nice little baggie to hold all his extra goodies that you're not using for him on display. Here we have Baron Ben's flight stand, normal stand. And when I say it's a flight stand, because you can actually move that peg out and you can plug this bad boy in. But the artwork, I mean, it was cool on insert, but I'm not really feeling that as a stand. I feel like it should have been a logo or maybe the design that we got on the pin, but I feel like this is too much for a stand. Anybody else that picked up this figure, what do you guys think? Do you think this is cool on a stand for your figure, or do you think it just takes away, or it's just too much to be crammed on this little piece? Straight out of the box, Baron comes with that head equipped, and he comes with a pair of fist hands equipped. Baron also comes with a pair of gripping hands. They look pretty cool. They got the little armor piece that you can see on the top, and he's wearing gloves. They got a nice wash over them, some wrinkles and stuff. Now we do get a pair of expressive hands, got the little armor on top, the wrinkles and the gloves look awesome. And honestly, the hand sculpts are great. I just wish we got more, because all we got were these expressive hands, the gripping hands and fist hands, and that's it. Which is not a lot of hands compared to the other figures that we got from Rumble Society and even Gomez and things like that. The Baron comes with a little baggie full of tubes, and they have some weight to them. They're actually bendy wire, and I've been hearing nothing but issues that people have been having trying to keep them in. So I'm going to mess with them once we get to the end of the video, see if I can get them in some cool poses using these, and give you my thoughts once I use them. We also get this like water rift bubbly effect where it's like darker blue and then it transitions into almost a very translucent blue. You can see my hand behind it. This thing is awesome looking, except this thing is super thin. Like, it is not, it's a little bit harder plastic up towards the top. When you get to the bottom, look at the, it almost feels like a piece of plastic you'd use to have an insert to hold a figure in place. I just wish it was more sturdy, maybe thicker. This wasn't really what I was expecting. It's cool. We're going to put it to the test with the Aquaticons to put those little fishies on it and stuff, but I wish it was a little bit thicker. I feel like this thing could crack or break at any moment. Now we dive into the Aquaticons, and these things are sculpted beautifully. They got little like thrusters and tanks, tons of detail. Could have used a little bit of a wash to make that detail pop, but I love the translucent blue fins that they used. The whole anglerfish idea is awesome, instead of just trying to do a piranha. I wish the little top on part right here was translucent, just because, I mean, they were doing translucent for the fins. That would have been pretty cool. And his jaw does move. That's as far as the jaws are going to go. I tried to open it up further, but it just popped the jaw off. So that's as much chomping action you're going to get out of these guys. But you get a whole set of 4 of these, and they look really, really cool. So the anglerfish can fit on the water effect, but again, that water effect does feel so thin. It just feels like it just doesn't really support. Like, that one was a little bit of a challenge to get on there. The other one sort of fit, and they had to put one on the bottom. I wish we got some sort of flight stand where you can plug it into these guys, to where you could just have them all floating around them instead of being positioned on this like thin piece of plastic, blue translucent smoke bubble effect. Here we get one of his weapons, the Weight of Woe. This thing is sculpted pretty awesome. Looks like some sort of underwater robotic creature itself, but it definitely looks like a ship weight, and it's awesome. It's pretty cool looking. I was hoping this was metal, but this is actually plastic, but the chain that it comes with is actually metal. Here we have his other primary weapon, the Omni Glaive. This thing looks pretty wicked. Has that translucent blue blade, and the yellowish gold color you see there is almost, it's actually a pearlescent yellow that they painted it with, and it looks really nice with the blue. We get the long grip. This thing, be careful with it. It's very thin, so if you're not careful, I can see this thing snapping. And then we get that same paint job at the bottom for a nice like hook, so he can probably like hook his enemies and stuff like that. Looks very wicked, and it also looks very regal. Here we got Underwater Krang. If you didn't know, Baron was part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he was Krang. No, I'm joking. This is actually his alternate head. This thing is pretty badass, very squid-like, and it's probably robotic squid arms or tentacles. I can't really tell because it's all armored up anyway, but it looks cool. It's almost like you could use this as a separate little like creature instead of the alternate head, and it just looks pretty awesome. Now, one thing that I was sort of bummed out about is what you'll see with the other head. The other head has a visor that pops up, and there's like a whole section where you can see the seam that wraps around. I was hoping that this part would like open up or remove to reveal another face underneath. That would have been awesome. Now, the figure is pretty badass, and some people might be wondering, like, why would I invest into these? It's like they don't really seem to fit with the Pink Skulls or, you know, Gomez and things like that. It's part of the Rumble Society, so that's one thing that grabbed me. But also, not only does this figure just scream Jack Kirby, it also grabbed me because it was like a hybrid of these 3 Scooby-Doo villains. I know a lot of other reviewers mentioned Jack Kirby. I see it, but I just don't know if anybody mentioned Scooby-Doo, and that's what really grabbed me with this figure. I was like, man, that just reminds me of Scooby-Doo before the Jack Kirby effect kicked in. But hey, that's just my opinion from a fellow collector. But this figure is very awesome up close. We get some amazing sculpt work in this head sculpt, and it's just so weird that he has like the holes that go up the head and stuff. It's really cool that they sculpted so much detail into this. It's just packed with it. Has a nice wash over it. Bunch of holes where you can actually utilize the hoses and stuff. There's even tubes. Like, they really put some thought into this character and his design. It's pretty awesome. Look at that. But if the helmet wasn't enough to be badass, then we also have, if I can do this, the visor that pops up and shows the Baron on the inside. Looking weird and creepy, maybe undead. Not too sure. Has white eyes, could just be like underwater god. Not too sure, but it's awesome. The awesome factor that the visor flips up, and they put that extra work into this. Now, diving further through his sculpt work and stuff, he's got this little harness. It's a loose harness. It's got some tubes that go under his arms, help snug it into his backpack. Has hoses. We got this big tube thing on the back. Again, that even is blurry right there, but he got a hole for you to put a hose in. So tons of hose options. I mean, look along his armor on his arms and everything. It's awesome. It's casted in a darker blue than his actual clothes. We get some amazing, you know, detail in there. Washes throughout. It's a black wash that really makes the armor throughout this figure pop. Like, it's great. You even get some darker blue paint on the actual shoulders and everything. And the belt is a separate belt. It's loose. Well, I guess I can't say loose. It's floating, but it's not like going to be tossed and flopped around everywhere. Again, nice sculpt work in there. The wash, the yellow, the blue paint. More holes for the hoses. It looks great. Then we get down to his boots. Boots, again, that blue paint, the wash. Throughout the figure has like a pearlescent feel to the paint too. Treading for his boots. Would have been cool to have some like barnacles or something attached to him. I mean, if he's living underwater and stuff like that. That would have been cool too. Even some like seaweed effects. But I mean, I know a lot of people have been hitting up their fish stores and pet stores and picking up aquarium stuff for this guy. Now, articulation wise, his head can go left and right. It can go back and forth. It's honestly very, very easy to adjust his head. So he can do any attitude that you'd want with this figure. Arms can go up this far. He does have bicep swivel, but of course the clothes and the armor sort of restrict it a little bit. But he also has butterfly joint in there as well. Elbow joint. Can't really see it too much because of the armor. And wrist rotation. And then he also has the wrist bend. So typical Mezco articulation. As for ab crunch, he has that ball jointed upper torso, so you can get him to lean all over the place. Legs can split out this far, restriction due to clothes. Leg can only kick up that far. Cannot kick up any higher. Knees now. Knees can bend back quite a bit. Not much pivot when we're coming, or the bend for the ankles. And there's some pivot in there. It's in there somewhere. Here I have him posed up, holding both his weapons and using the alternate head, and it looks very badass. I can see why people would have picked up two of this figure, so you can have him wearing that head and the other one as well. Now, I was mentioning earlier that his Omni Glaive, that could break easily, but his fingers are very soft and pliable to where you're not going to have to worry about it snapping that in half, because you're not going to have to put too much effort into him gripping the glaive like that. And I did slip to mention he does have thigh swivel adjustment articulation up there as well, the upper thigh. And this figure's just badass. It is a wicked looking figure. Now let's talk about this tube issue. The tubes are quite long. They have great texture and everything, but as you can see, for them supposed to be bendy wire, I had that thing coiled up and it came uncoiled. Like, after I coiled it up that tight, this is what it gives you. That can be very hindering, especially when you're trying to use all these tubes on the figure, and some of them just may not be the proper length. So you want to coil it to reduce the length. Now, I started using some of the hoses, and they're not too bad. The yellow ones can coil up the way that I want the black ones to coil up. And you can just see the black ones, they look cool. They just don't work the way I would like them to. They don't, it's just, the posing is limited. This hole right here doesn't really want anything to plug into it. It should be this big one right here. Well, it already unhooked up there, then that's a big issue too. But let me see if I can. Yeah, it's not really, they don't stick in. That is something that sort of bugs me. Like, the yellow ones work with the coiling and stuff. You can get them to look really nice. But the other ones that have the cool texture, you just really can't utilize the way that you should. You should be able to utilize them like these ones. The Baron is badass. He's very cool, a unique looking figure that would definitely grab somebody's attention when they're looking at your collection. And honestly, besides the tube issue and really, I wish he came with more expressive hands. Other than that, oh, and I can't forget the water thing. That water thing is just, it bugs me. I just wish it was a little bit thicker plastic and could even fit that fourth one on there, so you don't have it resting on the floor, or you have to have him holding it, or you have to find some other stand of your other figures to make that one Aquaticon fit on display. It's sort of obnoxious. But besides those issues, this figure's awesome. I'm not disappointed that I invested in this figure. I'm actually very ecstatic that I got it. I love this figure. It's a very cool figure. Even if I display him with very limited hoses, I'm still going to be happy with this figure. It's exactly, pretty much, I was going to say it's exactly what I expected. It was pretty much what I was expecting, besides the little things I was nitpicking. But it's, again, another solid release for Mezco. To be honest, with this IP of theirs, they can do whatever they want, and it's awesome, and it's fun, and it's great to see them with creative and fun characters that have nothing to do with any other franchise. It's just their own. It's awesome. So that sums up my unboxing and review of Mezco's Rumble Society Baron Benz and the Aquaticons. If you guys like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button for me. And if you want to know when I post up a new video, hit that bell notification so you get that alert when I post up a new video. And I want you guys to make sure you check out Toyco Toys and Collectibles. You got the pre-order group down below. Go check it out. You even got the website. The website, check that out too, because there's a promo code down there for you guys to get free shipping on anything that you see on that website. The pre-order group allows you to stay in the know with what's coming out, and also allows you to get dibs on some figures such as Mezco figures. So make sure you guys check that Facebook group out. Link is down below. And if you guys are looking for a nice tight-knit family of collectors, definitely check out Plastic Cannibals, my group. We all just look out for each other, and we share pictures of our collections. Again, at the end of the video, you see an image that says Plastic Cannibals. Go to Facebook, type in Plastic Cannibals in the search bar. You'll see a group. You'll have that same image, answer the 3 questions, and come on in and be a part of the Plastic Cannibals and just talk figures, show off your collection, just really have a good time. And also, I want you guys to make sure you have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.